Welcome to the Photography Opinion Podcast. We discuss all things photo, video, and camera related. I'm Ben Lucas.
And I'm Stuart Marlantis.
And this is Photo Op. Hello, Photo Op Podcast listeners. Today we are sharing the love. So you can listen to this in podcast form. You can also listen to it on our YouTube channel. And what we want to do is share with you some of our favorite YouTubers. So, of course, hopefully you like watching or listening to our content. But if you need some more, we wanted to share some of the ones that we listen to and why we like them so that you can get more of that educational goodness.
Yeah, so this will be a speed round. We've got a pretty decent number of them for you in a few different categories. So we'll go through these pretty quickly and explain kind of who they are and what they present, and hopefully you'll get some new YouTube content to watch. A lot of these have done a ton of videos, so you might have a big backlog after listening to this episode.
That is true. So we do have a request. If you go to any of these channels and you absolutely love them and they are a new channel for you, go ahead and mention that you found it through us. So hopefully we can get some good juice flowing both directions. all the mojo on YouTube algorithm, whatnot.
Yeah, these are YouTubers, by the way, this is not like some sort of cross promotional deal or anything. These are YouTubers that we like watching, that we watch ourselves. There's
only one of them I personally know.
Yeah, well, that's true in that case, but he does really cool stuff, so we'll get to him. But yeah, these are genuinely YouTubers that we like and recommend, and this isn't some cross-promotion scheme.
We're just going down our own subscription list.
Yeah, exactly.
So hashtag not sponsored.
But feel free to cross-promote us into their comment sections if you so desire. Just be nice.
All right, so who do we have to start with? We're going to break this up in categories. So we're going to start with kind of some of our kind of more general speaking YouTubers that kind of do a little bit of everything. So what do we got?
So the first one that I would recommend is a guy who goes by the name Gerald Undone. He is Mr. Purple. If you watch any of his videos, he always has like a purple background. Purple RGB is his like big thing, and I think it works for him. He is definitely in the general category. He tends to be more focused on mirrorless, but he does a lot of audio stuff. He just moved into a new studio space, so he's doing like a studio build series that's like just starting now. He's just seems like a really nice guy, doesn't seem bought out by a bunch of companies or anything, really into his Sony and Panasonic stuff, which I personally appreciate. Tends to be a little bit more video focused, but he does do really thorough reviews of all this stuff, both stuff that he's bought and stuff that people have sent him, so definitely recommended. He's a good one. I watch everything he ever does.
Nice.
Yeah. In the short form or initially short form format is TLDR Filmmaker, or how he refers to himself, Tilder. He is the one that you watch for just a quick overview of what a piece of equipment is, if it's any good. He does this really cool thing right at the beginning of the video where as quickly as possible he kind of gets things out of the way, and then he does have the rest of a long video where you can watch it and see his opinions in more detail, but he really respects your time, and if you only have 30 seconds to bounce into a video and check out something, then you can do that and then bounce right out. But definitely recommend watching his whole videos. He's pretty funny.
I love that because that was originally the premise when I started my YouTube channel of I wanted to make these short, like 1 to 2 minute videos that just explain the concept. So one of the ones that I did that's finally starting to get some views is the exposure triangle explained in 2 minutes or less. And nice. But of course the YouTube algorithm loves these 10 or 15 minute videos, so I've started to make more long form content. But that was the idea of I want to get straight to the point. I don't want to click on a 30-minute video. So I love the fact that he's just like, nope, here's straight to the point. Oh, exactly. Do you need more? Here's the rest of the video.
Yeah,
so I watched a couple of those, and I did really like that about it.
Yeah. He's cool. Yeah, too long didn't read is what TLDR stands for. Of course, in this case, it'd be watch, but
Yeah.
who cares? He's good. Good stuff.
So I have one that I'll throw into the ring. So DSLR video shooter. This is a YouTuber who is very video centric, but he just has a very chill, calm demeanor to him. But he has a lot of really cool rigs. He's not so much like, here's how I did this like huge project, here's how I did this thing, but like he builds things and has things and does reviews on things. So he actually did the video for the big sound blankets that I built for my studio. He also has a really cool rig on if you want to do podcasting on like a single tripod stand, how to attach everything to that one stand. He just has a lot of these kind of interesting build videos along with a lot of good gear reviews.
Yeah, DSLR video shooter and Gerald Undone are probably my two like overall favorites from this general list. Excuse me, let me actually pronounce my words. Yeah, he's super calming to watch, has some really great ideas. I mean, he like Gerald, I watch everything he puts out. He's just a great one to check out no matter what he's talking about. Yeah. Let's see. iPhonedo. This guy's a little bit more out there. He features a lot of LA landmarks. You'll notice if you watch any of his videos. He does some really beautiful shots. He tends to be more, I would say, a little bit more phone, mobile, action camera kind of centric, but he sort of does anything, like anything that catches his fancy. Really funny guy. He has just a really unique style, and he's fun to watch. Definitely a kind of a comical edge to his work. So, although his YouTube name is iPhonedo, he doesn't just cover Apple stuff. In fact, he doesn't cover Apple stuff that much at all. So that's just what his username is, but definitely worth checking out. Nice. Another one kind of in the out there category is Potato Jet. He plays with, kind of an interesting name. He plays with just super fancy, expensive rigs. I mean, he does normal kind of gear stuff too, but he does all these like just crazy, super, super expensive, like RE rigs and just really, really fancy stuff. Again, a little bit of a different style, a little bit more comical, or at least a little bit less formal. But he's the one that you go to for some of the more out there, like crazy, aspirational, expensive gear.
Yeah, I've kind of equate his to the Adam Savage one day builds.
Yeah,
where like I'm never gonna do that, but I will sit here and watch it.
Yeah, exactly. So rounding out this category is Cheung and KaiW, who used to work together at Digital Rev, or at least I believe they do. Kai definitely did. And during that time, they had a super popular YouTube channel that people called the Top Gear of Photography, or I guess the Grand Tour now, since all of those guys moved to a new show. And they did all sorts of just funny stuff. One of the series that I really liked from them was this pro photographer cheap camera kind of series, which was
I loved that one. Chase Jarvis had to shoot a skateboarder with a Lego camera.
Yeah,
that one was incredible.
Yeah, so these are two of the people that were behind that channel, and they recently split away from Digital Rev and started doing their own thing, and they often show up in each other's videos. Locke tends to be more, again, a little bit more action camera-y focused, although he kind of does everything, but he does like a lot of 360 and action camera kind of stuff. And Kai does, again, sort of everything. That's why they're kind of both in the general category, but he tends to be a little bit more mirrorless or DSLR focused of the two of them. So they're kind of two different sides of a similar coin. Kai is very much like in his own unique humorous style. So
he's a goofball, but
he's a goofball, but he's really fun to watch. So definitely check those out as well. That rounds out the general category.
And so the rest of these photographers and filmmakers, YouTubers rather, are all categories unto their own. So if you are interested in the subject that they kind of talk about or specialize in, go check them out. We're gonna take this little time and this pre-roll middle section to say, hey, if you like our content, like, subscribe, share with a friend. And now, without further ado, let's continue sharing some of our favorite YouTubers.
And rate us on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast platform you like.
Also that. Ratings. We love it. It's great.
So first off, in what I'm going to call the live streaming category is Aaron Parecki. He's a guy out of Portland. I really enjoy his content. He's done a lot of stuff with like the ATEM Mini, which is an HDMI switcher. He covers other stuff too, some audio stuff, some lights, but really focuses on live production, live streaming production, and really interesting content, really well produced. If you have any interest whatsoever in live streaming or live switching or like remote streaming over cell networks, stuff like that, he does a lot of that stuff, and he has some big plans for this year. There's some new ATEM announcements that came out, the Mini Extreme, which is pretty exciting. So definitely check him out. Really good content. Very also calming to watch. Speaking of calming, Curtis Judd, who I'm putting in as the audio category, he reviews just like every good mic and even some potentially not good mics ever made, and a lot of audio content.
There's going to be not good mics, so he reviews all the mic options that you might be looking at. Exactly.
So he reviews all the mic stuff. He reviews a lot of the recording equipment too, so USB interfaces, portable recorders, all sorts of stuff. And he is just like, again, super calming to listen to, really nice, really relaxing. I struggle to recommend any other channel for audio because his is just so good. So check him out.
Nice.
In the kind of action cameras / drones category specifically, and I know a couple of the other generalists cover this stuff too, but air photography is one that I often watch for this. He does a lot of gear reviews, very GoPro centric, lots of DJI gear. Again, action cameras and drones, that's kind of his thing. I mean, air photography should hint at least the drone angle of that.
You might think.
Yeah, you might think. So yeah, pretty straightforward channel, but really good content. Any like new GoPro gear or accessories or anything that comes out, he pretty much covers it. So yeah, good stuff. Now what I'm going to call filmmaking. Sorry, I'm just dominating this conversation, Ben. But yeah, I watch too much YouTube. Let's put it that way. Brandon,
I will.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I will say that most of the YouTubers I watch are actually not photography or videography centric. Mm-hmm. My personal preference in content is I actually like to watch a stuff where like people who break down like video essay style content. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily related to photo or video. So that's kind of a lot of the stuff that I tend to recommend. So I have a lot of YouTubers that I really like, but they just don't quite fit the focus of this show. So with that in mind, please continue sharing your favorite YouTubers.
Yeah, sure thing. So the filmmaking category, or what I'm going to term filmmaking, Brandon Lee, he does some just incredible filmmaking tutorials, and even just his own filmmaking is really fascinating to watch and enjoy. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Brandon Lee is one of those people that he does at least like if you watch his trailer and stuff, he focuses a little bit less on gear and technique and a little more on like story and movement and story structure and the things that you need as a filmmaker that aren't pieces of hardware.
Yeah, exactly. He does do the occasional gear review, but it's generally focused around how can you tell a story with this piece of gear and not really about the specific minute aspects of the gear itself. So his, those review tutorial kind of content is well worth watching, but also just check out the films that he makes about different areas or cities. He has a really amazing editing style. I mean, just the stuff that he makes for his own enjoyment is just awesome, and it is well worth. I'm saying well worth way too much this episode. Check it out.
I mean, that's kind of the point of all of these. One thing that I'll say is when you can make your own content at that high level, caliber, that just impresses me, because I mean, if you look at my YouTube channel, like, it's fine. I have a few videos that are incredibly highly produced and took me, 20, 30, 40 hours to put together. But then I have a bunch of other content that's like, well, I'm going to turn on a camera and see what I can do this time. And it's okay. Mm-hmm. Like, the tips are still good, but the production level is, bare minimum. But that's because when someone hires me to do a thing, I'm much more invested in getting their top level thing than when I don't have the time or energy to do a thing for myself. So the YouTubers that can consistently put out that high level quality, I only get the itch to do that for myself every once in a while. So more props to them.
Yeah, there's definitely kind of two categories, or there tends to be two categories that I see with this, where you've got somebody who is really good at a thing and they get into making videos about how to do that thing. And then you have people that are just kind of entertainers or reviewers that don't necessarily, use that equipment really heavily, pre-working in that kind of review entertaining space. But they're still worth watching. They're still good at what they do. But Brandon Lee is very much like, he was a filmmaker first, and then he decided to make some tutorials. And his films are just incredible. Like his editing style is something that, like, I aspire to be as good an editor as he is. So, definitely watch all of his stuff. In increasingly narrow perspective, I should say, is another perspective who really does macro content.
That is literally the YouTube channel name, Another Perspective.
Yeah, Another Perspective. He is macro focused, and he does a lot of stuff with the Laowa probe lens. So being a probe lens fan, he gets a special mention in this list because one, he has a probe lens, and two, he makes awesome stuff with the probe lens. So Another Perspective. Check him out. Let's see, another one in kind of a more narrow category, Dave Morrow, who does landscapes. Now his videos are almost more travel logs. Like it's him, like, here's this experience of walking out into the wilderness and living in a tent and getting these landscape photos that you can't get any other way than doing it like that. So it's very much this kind of adventure travelogue style content, but he's a landscape photographer first, and again, this is him basically like, I'm gonna do this anyway, so I might as well bring a camera and record it. So really interesting perspective, very different from pretty much everything else on this list, and worth checking out, especially if you like landscapes, or if you just want to see how annoying it is to get certain landscape photos, and the kind of the investment in time and personal peril you have to go to.
A video that I recorded but have not gotten around to editing and publishing yet is actually just that, about like, hey, look at how lovely and glamorous it is to shoot landscapes. Actually, it sucks and it's a ton of hard work.
Yeah, and so if you want to see that, Dave Morrow's channel is perfect. And now I need to stop talking so you can share something, Ben.
Oh, good. I do watch YouTube occasionally, and so I have a couple more people that I can add. So first and foremost, we have, we mentioned earlier, one person that I actually personally know. So this is Ben VonWong, and he goes by VonWong everywhere. His YouTube channel does not have a lot of content, I will say. He does not post regularly. However, he is worth subscribing to, because when he posts something, holy crap, is it epic. So he posts like, let's say maybe like one or two things a year, but that thing is amazing. And he's very much, he used to be the big, like, crazy composite guy, and then he started moving more towards, I want to do the big crazy composite stuff, but can I do that in camera?
Yep.
And so he got like his pyrotechnics license, and he hangs people off the sides of buildings, and he goes to third world countries and builds giant structures to be able to pull off this thing. You're like, oh, that's definitely Photoshop, except it's not.
Nope.
So he just does big, amazing, crazy things. But all of his stuff is also he's been shifting his focus. Not charity, but more like
social
awareness.
Awareness,
social or environmental awareness. Yeah. So he did a one on plastic. He did another, I think, on like abuse. He did another one on
Clothing.
on tornadoes. Yeah, on clothing and the fast fashion industry. Let's see, and he's just kind of all over. He did a thing on sharks, and he put a model underwater and like weighted them down in this big gorgeous dress with the sharks swimming around them. So you have probably seen one or two of his videos and not known who he is, because everything he puts out goes viral. But again, it takes him a long time to work on these things, but when he does it, well worth it. So Ben, you're great, man. I hope your channel's way bigger than mine, but I hope I can send at least one or two people your way.
Yeah.
No, he's just a great, really nice, fun guy. But his content just blows your mind because he goes up over and a top. He does like 140% of what you think someone should actually do on a thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you subscribe to him because whenever he does something, it will go viral, and you'll be able to see it first.
Yeah. He won't post anything for
Guaranteed.
months at a time, but when he does, it is worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
And so the last one to round out this list, he is not an independent creator by any means, but Scott Kelby. So Scott Kelby actually runs Kelby One Media Group, and so you might say, like, Ben, this is not really a YouTuber. And yes, it is true that he runs Kelby One. I've been a member of Kelby One since before it was called Kelby One, back when it was called National Association of Photoshop Professionals, and it was just a magazine. And so this is basically how I learned to become a photographer. Again, not sponsored, but if you want like good classes and courses, his site has that. However, the thing that I actually wanted to plug here is they run they call it like a podcast, but you really want to watch it on YouTube, not listen to it, because otherwise you're going to lose out on a lot. They do not make it friendly for audio. They will be showing a lot of photos and images on the screen when they talk about stuff. But they run a podcast called The Grid. So The Grid, they'll talk about gear reviews. They'll talk about industry-specific stuff. They have all the big names throughout the industry come on and talk about business or personal growth, or they do blind critiques. So they'll have Moose Peterson come on and do blind critiques for landscape photography. They'll have Lindsay Adler come on and do blind critiques for fashion photography. So if you go look at their channel, go to the section under The Grid. It's just an interesting show. I don't watch it all the time, but when I do watch it, it's fun. So
awesome. And that rounds out our list of photography, videography YouTubers or YouTube channels for you to check out.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
all worth it. Yeah.
So you may think like, hey, you didn't really give us any content today. No, we gave you so much content. We gave you hundreds of hours of content. So go check out these people.
We will link them all in the description.
Yes, they will all be
that,
linked for you,
so you can
to
find the
them
right place
so easily. But let them know that we sent you their way. And if you liked this and want to see more of it, then be sure to leave a comment and tell us like more YouTubers, more channels. Tell us if you liked this, that you want more stuff that you can watch, and we can do more future episodes like this.
Yeah, we love to shine the light on anybody doing good work. So yeah, definitely chime in if this is something you'd like to see more of.
If you have questions or ideas for future episodes, you can email us at hello@photo-op.show.
Watch us on Ben's YouTube channel at NomCreative.
As in Om Nom Nom.
Share this with a friend, and you can listen to Photo Op anywhere podcasts are sold.
Or download it. 'Cause it's free.